Federal correctional officer charged in former prison nurse pleads guilty in bribery and contraband smuggling schemes. A former nurse at Leavenworth Detention Center has pleaded guilty to conspiring to smuggle contraband into the prison, and a federal grand jury in the District of Kansas has returned an indictment charging a former correctional officer with a similar scheme. The walls are 40 feet high and 40 feet below ground and 3,030 feet long, and encloses almost 23 acres. This prison was the largest maximum security prison in the United States until 2005, when it was downgraded to medium security, housing approximately 1,670 inmates. This magnificent structure can be viewed and photographed only from a distance, across the street, south side of Metropolitan. Bring picture of conditions inside the prison, including prison doors that don't lock and multiple incidents of stabbings this year alone. Federal public defenders with clients inside CRCIV Leavenworth report that stabbings like this are so routine recently that they are almost unnoteworthy. Former Kansas City Chiefs player was pronounced dead Thursday after being found unresponsive in a cell of a federal prison in Leavenworth around 2:30 p.m. Sal Usala Jr. Seabier, 43, was transported to a local hospital by EMS after being found unresponsive and having life-saving measures performed. He was pronounced dead by hospital staff, according to a release from the U.S. Department of Justice. Seabier played for the Chiefs from 2004 to 2005. He was released in training camp in 2006 and needed surgery on his knee. He returned to the NFL with Dallas in 2008-09 and Seattle in 2010, when a bruised spinal cord ended his career. He was arrested for the firearms charges in 2019. A former corrections officer for the privately run federal prison in Leavenworth is accused of participating in a criminal conspiracy that allegedly involved smuggling cell phones into the prison that were later sold to prisoners. Series of violent incidents at a private prison in Leavenworth have prompted civil liberties advocates in Kansas to urge President Joe Biden's administration to ensure the prison closes by the end of the year. Angelica Grant, who was a CRCIV employee assigned to the Leavenworth Detention Center between May 2018 and May 2020, is named in a criminal complaint filed Monday in the U.S. District Court in Kansas City, Kansas, alleging a single felony count of conspiracy. Prison this year has had several serious incidents, the letter said. In February, a resident was beaten and suffered life-threatening injuries. At least 7 people were stabbed in May and June, and there were also 2 suicides during the spring. Another detainee was sexually assaulted by an employee in May, the letter said. Last month, a man was beaten by another resident and died. Letter also said staff had locked people, including a man who uses a wheelchair, in showers with running water as a form of punishment. Operated by private prison company CRCIV, has been the site of 2 suicides and at least 10 severe beatings and stabbings this year, according to attorneys representing inmates there. Leavenworth has abdicated its constitutional responsibility to keep people safe, and it has proven itself incapable of running its facility in a way that protects the life and health of those who live and work there, the letter read. Dangerous understaffing, pervasive drugs and a stockpile of weapons have transformed a private detention center in Kansas into a hellhole where violence is routine and inmates are still on lockdown after one was beaten to death this summer. The 34-year-old was convicted of 2 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder in August 2013. He is serving a 19-year sentence at Leavenworth when accused of abducting his 2 daughters from a Kansas home where their 2 brothers were killed. Has been going through a divorce with the children's mother, authorities said Monday. Major James Shirley, of the Leavenworth County Sheriff's Department, said 40-year-old Donnie Jackson and his wife are estranged and that he had on-again, off-again access to the children. The Leavenworth Detention Center, a trial lockup run by the nation's largest private prison operator, CRCIV, has been the site of 2 suicides and at least 10 severe beatings and stabbings. Ex-Army soldier in Leavenworth Prison asks Kansas judge to vacate murder conviction. Kevin Strickland, 62, has spent the last 40-plus years in prison for a 1,978 triple murder he says he did not commit. His lawyers, local prosecutors and Kansas City officials have urged he be released, but the Missouri Attorney General's office maintains he's guilty. Kevin Strickland managed to smile while talking to the media after his November 23 release from prison. A judge granted the Jackson County prosecutor's motion to exonerate Strickland in a 1,978 triple murder and ordered his immediate release. Since he was sentenced to prison in June 1979, Strickland has spent more than 42 years and 4 months behind bars, or 15,487 days. Donors gave $1.6 million to Kevin Strickland. In the nearly 40 years after he escaped from the maximum security military prison at Fort Leavenworth, convicted killer James Robert Jones carved out a new life for himself in Florida, living under an assumed name, getting married and working for an air conditioning company. 7 minus 13 members charged with double murder inside federal penitentiary in Beaumont, Texas, resulting in nationwide lockdown at federal prison system. Till next time.